Mary clutched the phone to her ear feverishly. The doctor had just given her the diagnosis. "Isn't there anything that can be done?" she asked. "I'm so sorry, Mary," the doctor replied. "And how long?" "How much time do I have left?" "At best 1 year. But for the last months, I can't guarantee the quality of life. You may have to rely on strong painkillers. It's a very insidious illness." Mary hurried home. She was lightly dressed but didn't feel the cold or the sharp gusts of wind. One thought throbbed in her mind. A year? Just 1 year? Her daughter Veronica would be 12 and Jimmy 8. They'd stay with her husband. Veronica was a good girl, while Jimmy was a mischievous rascal. It wasn't the right time to leave them. Children need their mother. Honestly, a mother is needed at any age. There had never been anyone closer to Mary than her own mother. With problems and worries, she'd always rush to her for a comforting shoulder, to share in happiness, to divide joy and sorrow. Once, at the store where her mother, Annette, worked, an old gypsy came in. It was just after their lunch break. The store had just opened, and they were sipping tea, laughing at one of Alex the loader's jokes. There were no customers yet. A friendly team, a good job, a normal family. Mary's daughter was an excellent student, the pride of her mother. Until that day, Annette had been a happy woman, aged 42. "What are you laughing about?" the gypsy asked sharply. "You've got no reason to laugh. You," she pointed her dirty finger at Annette, "won't live to see 50. And you," she turned to Ellie, Annette's colleague, "you've got nothing to laugh about either. You'll be widowed 3 times, bury 2 more husbands. One's already in the ground." She nodded at Ellie. "And you," she said to Alex, shooting him a piercing glance. "Laugh as much as you want. You'll outlive 2 of your children. A long life is ahead, but a lonely one." No matter how much Annette tried to dismiss the gypsy's ominous words and forget that fateful encounter, she couldn't shake it off. At 48, she started to get ill. The diagnosis was cancer. The disease progressed quickly, and Annette didn't make it to her 50th birthday, missing it by just 1 month. The memory made Mary shudder, and a chill ran down her spine. Only once, on her deathbed, had Annette told Mary about her father. "Mary, your dad, Victor, was married, but never had the courage to leave his family. He couldn't leave his son. That's how it was. I didn't push him, move to another city, hoping to meet someone else and forget him. It was only after our separation that I realized I was pregnant. That's how you, my joy, my happiness, my dear girl, came into my life." "Did he know?" Mary asked. "Did you tell him?" "No, sweetheart. Forgive me. I couldn't make up my mind right away. And later, well, life got in the way. The house, work. Time just flew by. You went to school, got married, brought home a husband for me," Annette said, breathless. "Then Veronica was born. Live well, love each other." And so, Mary was left without her mother when Veronica was just 2. The dreaded diagnosis reached Mary much sooner than her mother. Life was still vibrant and full of color, and she didn't want to leave her husband and children, making them orphans, as she herself once had been. Mary worked as a university lecturer in the journalism department. Today, she had taken a day off as she was expecting the results of her tests. She waited for the doctor's call sitting in a cafe at a large shopping mall, staring blankly ahead, but not seeing anything. Deep down, Mary already knew. So when the doctor confirmed it, she wasn't surprised. A large, inoperable tumor had been discovered 2 weeks prior. At home, Mary's husband was waiting for her. He had already returned from work. He was a manager at a large restaurant owned by their best friend, Ethan. Is it bad? He only needed one look at his wife to know. How long? The questions poured out like a hailstorm. Are you going to tell the kids yourself? Not today, Mary replied. But even after several days had passed, Mary couldn't gather the courage to break the sad news to her daughter and son. A month later, coming back from the clinic, she didn't find her husband at home. Instead, she found a note. I'm leaving. I have someone else. The kids are old enough and will finish school. You can register them at an orphanage on time. I've waited long enough. Goodbye. Despair crashed over her like a wave. Tears sprang to her eyes, but Mary pulled herself together. Could it get any worse? Or could it? She clenched her willpower into a fist and said nothing to the kids. Dad's going to live in another city for a while. Did you and Dad fight, Mom? Veronica asked. Yes, but I'm sure everything will work out. He's been offered a good job managing a restaurant in a capital city hotel owned by Uncle Ethan, Mary lied. She felt awkward and ashamed before the children. Nothing else came to mind, but realizing how unwanted they were by Andrew wounded her deeply. She had no other relatives. Andrew's mother lived for herself, and when Mary tried to discuss her grandchildren's future with her, she encountered cold indifference. He didn't tell me anything, said Lara dryly. I suppose Andrew's already filed for divorce? Mary asked. He doesn't need a divorce, Mary wanted to scream. He'll soon be a widower. But instead she replied, I don't know. You're not hearing me at all. Well, you're not dead yet. Let's deal with problems one at a time. Of course I won't abandon my grandchildren, Lara said. Hearing nothing substantial, Mary left, slamming the door behind her. At home, she found all the information about her father. In a dark folder, along with albums containing photographs, Mary, choking back tears, began to leaf through them, remembering her mother. Looking at herself as a little girl with a happy smile and white bows. Here she is going to first grade, here celebrating International Women's Day on March 8th, everyone dressed up, and she's in the front row with a wide, joyful smile. Among the snapshots from the past lay a folder, and picking it up, Mary caught a glimpse of hope. The children wouldn't be orphans. They had a grandfather. There was a name, a surname, an address, and even a home phone number. The next day, she began her search for her father. Unfortunately, Victor's home phone number didn't answer. After calling about 10 times, Mary pulled herself together and traveled to that city. Lara agreed to stay with the children. At the given address, an elderly woman opened the door. Hello, I need to see Victor Nicholas Smith. I'm sorry, but he moved with his family out of town about 9 years ago. I don't have the address, but I might still have his mobile number, the woman said as she stepped further into the apartment. Hold on, let me see. Oh, you're in luck. Here you go, she said, handing Mary a business card. Thank you so much, Mary replied, stepping outside, and with her heart pounding, she dialed her father's number with trembling hands. Hello? She heard a man's voice on the other end of the line. Hello, is this Victor Nicholas? Yes, I'm listening, he replied attentively. I don't even know how to begin. My name is Mary. I'm Annette's daughter and you're... The silence seemed to stretch, or so it felt to Mary, before Victor finally spoke, trying to suppress his emotions. Yes, I see. Could you come over? He quickly explained how to reach him. I'll wait for you, he said expectantly. At the gate, where the taxi left her, stood an elderly man, tall, sturdy, entirely gray, yet still handsome, with regular, distinguished features and kind blue eyes. Yes, one could fall in love with a man like this even now, Mary thought, surprised by the particular charm of this courteous and dignified man. It was only after that she noticed the rich, two-story mansion behind the tall fence where Victor Nicholas stood, watching Mary intently. "You very much resemble your mother." The same open smile and clear blue eyes. "Pleasure to meet you," he said, taking her delicate hand without taking his misty eyes off her face. "And your mother?" Why didn't she say then that we would have a child? "Let's start from the beginning," Mary asked as she entered the house following her host. They sat down in the living room, and Mary quietly recounted her story. Victor held her hands, looking at her with tenderness and empathy. "My wife lives with my son in the capital, helping with the grandchildren. They became parents late, had difficulties, and only after 12 years decided on IVF and had twins. My son John is a renowned surgeon with international experience. He will explain everything. And your wife? She'll find out. I'll speak with her, confess what happened. In our youth, both she and I made mistakes. Each of us has secrets we hide deep inside, hoping to forget. I hope she'll understand. Forgive me too. As you see, I'm a wealthy man. I'll do everything to secure the grandchildren. There are 4 of them now, but most importantly, to save your life." Everything that followed seemed to pass by rapidly, and Mary seemed to be watching herself from outside. A reevaluation in the capital, preparation for surgery, and she woke up after the operation in the ward, with her father by her side holding her hand. "God, what a relief! You're awake!" "The operation was successful. You know, my dear, I never doubted it. I took the liberty to inform your loved ones. Oh, and someone named Ethan called for you, said he'd pick up the kids and come by. He also mentioned that your ex-husband no longer works for him. He was let go. They're no longer friends. He dismissed him." "Interesting indeed. I'm looking forward to their arrival now. You rest and regain your strength. You know, my son said the tumor wasn't as large as it appeared on the scan, and there were hardly any metastases. After undergoing immunotherapy, you could hope for a complete remission." "My girl, I'm so happy for you," Victor said with joy. In a couple of days, Mary began to stand and walk around the room. It was during one of these moments that her children found her. "Mom!" Jimmy cried and fell into his mother's arms, teary-eyed, followed by Veronica. "Mom, why didn't you tell us? Were you afraid we would cry and worry?" "Yes, I was afraid, my dears. Forgive me, my sweethearts." And then she saw Ethan standing in the doorway with a shy smile, the very person who had always supported and cared for her throughout their years of friendship. "Why didn't you tell me anything?" "At first I wanted to find my father. And then you, Andrew's best friend. Was the best friend until I learned the full extent of his actions from your father. I didn't come here right away. As you can see, I dealt with the traitor first. His behavior was disgraceful. In short, he no longer works for me. He's off trying to get employed by the competition." Sometimes, when looking at Ethan, Mary wondered, he was good, he was hardworking, but his personal life never seemed to work out, and he didn't have children with his wives. Naturally, he devoted all his time to developing his business. She noticed the tender glances and felt the tension at accidental touches and guessed. But he was the most loyal friend, and now, in Ethan's embrace, Mary regained her faith and happiness, healed both body and soul, and thanked God every day for the chance to continue living. She divorced her husband, who showed no interest in seeing the children, but she was happy with Ethan, who had loved her for a long time, but had been forced to remain silent. Andrew was clearing dirty dishes off the table in a small restaurant in the center of their small town. 4 years ago, Ethan dismissed him from his restaurant and harshly cut him out of his life. but his mistress Laura needed to be supported. As evening approached, Andrew noticed smartly dressed, happy people entering the VIP lounge, among them Mary and their children, who were being embraced by a distinguished elderly man with striking blue eyes. "Dad, why did you choose this place?" Mary asked as she walked past the frozen waiter, looking only at this man and their children with love. "Well, Ethan's place is closed. He's having renovations done today. And of course, it's a special occasion. Veronica just finished 9th grade. We must celebrate. She's such a beauty, just like her mother," Victor said, and kissed the girl on the forehead before the group disappeared behind the VIP room's door. No one in the group noticed the angry glare in the waiter's eyes. It was good that another staff member was attending to the regular patrons. The traitor had been punished. Just remember the boomerang effect. It's his issue now.